Hey everyone, I'm Bradley, and welcome to Zlangle. There are many superheroes in the DC Extended Universe so far, but several from the comic books have still not been given their chance to shine on the big screen, and I'm going to give you my list of who I want them to include next. At number 7, I have John Constantine. And he has such a low spot on the list, even though he's one of my favorite characters, because we've had 2 previous live-action versions already, so my need to have him in the movies is not as strong as it would have been if he was never adapted before. But since we only had a Keanu Reeves movie and a canceled TV show, though it has a perfect John Constantine and Matt Ryan, I would still love him to have a much larger presence in a cinematic universe like the DCEU. And since we have that Justice League Dark movie that Warner Brothers is kinda trying to make, in which John has a prominent role, we hopefully will see him in a movie theater in the next few years. Though I kind of doubt it. Number 6 is someone who most of you might not know, but it's someone who I really want to be in a future DC movie, and his name is Nort. He is a dog-like alien who was a Green Lantern. Though he is occasionally shown to be honorable, Nort is usually made out to be somewhat unintelligent and incompetent, and often used for comic relief. But he is still one of my favorite Green Lanterns, and was even technically a Justice League member. Well, he was a member of Justice League Antarctica, at least. He was never a huge or well-known character, obviously, but he's still someone who pops up here and there in the DC universe. So even if we just got a cameo of him in the supposedly upcoming Green Lantern Corps film, then I would be satisfied. Number 5 is someone a little more familiar. Krypto the Superdog. That's right, Kal-El's very own pup from Krypton. Why you name your dog after either your dead planet or the substance that kills you, I don't know. But Krypton is certainly worthy of a live-action treatment. There's been several versions of Krypto's history, but the original story involves Krypto being used as a test subject before baby Kal-El was sent off when Krypton was about to be destroyed. And since then, he's managed to find his way back to his owner. And because he has powers as well, he actually becomes a superhero to assist Superman on occasion. Now I know this might not sound like it fits in with the current DC film universe, which it sort of doesn't, but I think eventually the DCEU will stretch enough that more lighthearted characters and storylines could take place, like with the upcoming Shazam movie. So who knows, in the next 10 years we might see Krypto flying across our screen, though it is unlikely. Number 4, Blue Beetle. Not that one, or that one, but this one, the third Blue Beetle. He is my favorite of the 3, although I would love to see the second one, Ted Kord, be in a movie with Booster Gold. But if I had to choose one, I want this Blue Beetle in a standalone film. I think he would be a perfect, relatively unknown character to use, and I think he has the potential to become really popular. The Blue Beetle comes from him finding a blue scarab artifact that fuses with him. It's a long story of where it came from and what it is, but basically it's from a race of aliens called the Reach. And while it's originally intended to force the user to try to take over their own world, it gets damaged, and Jaime Reyes, I think I'm saying that right, manages to use the abilities it provides him to become the next great hero. He has appeared on Smallville in the past, and also had a screen test made for an ultimately never made television series, which is what this is.
Whoa, dude, I'm gonna wake up first.
But I think he would be a pretty good way to bring a new energy and a younger voice to the DCEU. In the same way that Spider-Man is the younger generation that looks up to all the older and more experienced Avengers, Blue Beetle could be part of that next wave of heroes that look at the Justice League as a role model and want to live up to their legacy. Just a thought.
Hi May, time to get up to school. Hi May.
Anyway, on to number 3. Now we're getting to characters that if we don't get to see soon, I'm not going to be happy. Number 3 might seem like an odd choice, but honestly is someone who is perfect for live action. Deadman. For those of you who don't know, Deadman is a ghost. That no one can see. He was a trapeze circus performer that was shot down by an assassin. But then, by the power of an ancient god, his spirit is given the ability to possess living people and try to find his killer and justice.
He died.
Now he is supposed to be a major character in the movie that was announced, called Justice League Dark. There's even some concept art that I really like, but the film has been in development limbo for so many years now, and was supposed to be directed, written, and produced by Guillermo del Toro. But I don't know anymore. Let's just keep hope. I love all the Justice League Dark members. Number 2, Lobo. Just Lobo. That's all we really need in the world. It could be such a success, I know it could. Just like Deadpool, Lobo can be a rated R, quirky, violent, fun film that doesn't take itself too seriously and just goes for it. Lobo is an alien, leather-clad space biker who worked as a mercenary and actually wiped out his entire planet and race. So he's definitely not a good guy, but I decided to include him in this list because he is the protagonist in most of his comics, and I didn't want him to take a spot in my future villains video. The perfect thing about a Lobo film is they can still be darker and still stay true to the DCEU up to this point, but add a lot of fun and energy that I personally think the DC movies could use a little more of. And also, check out the short fan film online called the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas Special, based on this comic right here. I think it's actually really well done for a small, low-budget fan film about an alien trying to kill Santa Claus, and it gets the character right, as well as the crazy world of the Lobo comics. So now it's time for number 1. The character I want to see most in the DC film universe, and it's one of my favorite overall characters from comic books period, and that is Martian Manhunter. A lot of you may know him from the comics or the different animated series through the years, but he is a Martian that gets teleported to Earth by a human scientist, and he is almost always a major member of the Justice League of America. And he has many powers, including flight, invisibility, intangibility, telepathy, telekinesis, super strength, shapeshifting, and even laser vision. But that's not what makes him cool. He is like Superman in the way that they are alien beings being forced to live on Earth. But unlike Superman, he was not raised there. His whole adult life up to that point was on Mars with his family and people. He does not consider Earth home, but he still does his best to protect it. In some versions of his history, he's just waiting for Martian technology to advance so he can return home. But in newer versions, Mars is a dead planet and he is one of the sole survivors. He would be an incredible asset to the Justice League and bring some more color and character dynamics to the team. And he's addicted to Oreo cookies. Just thought I'd throw that in. So that's my list of the 7 superheroes I want to see most in the DCEU, and I'll put a few honorable mentions in the description of this video, like last time, which you guys should totally watch. It's also in the description. But who are the ones you would put on your list? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Until next time, nuff said, and Excelsior.